All right, what's up, guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 2010 Nissan Frontier. Up front is a 4.0-liter V6. Down below is a 5-speed automatic transmission. Now, I am excited to be driving this Frontier because I've actually never driven one before. I've actually never driven a Nissan truck before, so this is a completely new experience for me. But let's get back to that 4.0-liter V6. Well, it's technically still a VQ engine. I'll put the engine code up on the screen for those of you nerds out there. And it actually makes a decent amount of power. 261 horsepower, 281 foot-pounds of torque, getting you a whopping 16 miles to the gallon in the city, 20 miles to the gallon on the highway. So not so stellar numbers there, but it's a pickup truck. What do you expect? Like I said, paired to it is a 5-speed automatic transmission. I haven't really noticed anything weird or quirky about it. It seems to shift fine. It works, I guess. Last but not least, of course, this is the 4-wheel drive option. They did offer Frontiers that weren't 4-wheel drive, but this is the 4-wheel. And that's how it should be. A couple things before we talk about the interior, actually. First of all, is the towing capacity is just over 6,000 pounds, which honestly, for a little pickup truck like this, isn't so bad. I could safely haul my RX-7 on a trailer with this truck. I really, really like that. I think that's one of the big selling points, at least for me, for the Frontiers, that this thing is small, it's inexpensive, it's reliable, but can also tow 6,000 pounds and up. Depending on the package, I've read between 6,100 and 6,300. Let's just say 6,000 to be safe. I could tow a lot with that. I could haul a lot of things with that, and that would attract me to this truck for sure. Last thing about the driving experience that I wanted to touch on that I noticed right off the bat is the steering. The steering needs a lot of input, a lot of input in order to actually turn the vehicle. So I'm just making a regular right-hand turn, 180 degrees, a full rotation and some for the steering wheel. The steering ratio in this truck is just absolutely terrible. I really have to give it a workout. Here we go. We're going to make a U-turn, 1 rotation, 1.5, and we're still not really. I feel like I'm manning a pirate ship with the big wooden wheel. Now we got to bring it back to center. It's a lot of steering work. My God. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 4 main gauges. On the left is my coolant. Center left is my tachometer. Center right is my speedometer with the odometer on a screen. And then at the right, I have my fuel. Interestingly enough, inside the tachometer, I do get a little information screen showing if I'm in 2-wheel or 4-wheel drive. This is very smart, because I've known people who accidentally leave their trucks in 4-wheel drive, start driving a little bit too fast for the system, and things don't really end well. So you can monitor just sort of a nice little double check in the gauge cluster. Make sure you're in that 2-wheel drive if you plan on going on the highway or something like that. And of course, the gauge cluster uses the typical amber lights that Nissan has been using for the last 20 years, and I don't think they'll stop using those anytime soon. On the steering wheel, on the right, I have my cruise control options, and on the left, I don't actually have anything. It's a very off-center, sort of awkward steering wheel. However, it's plain simple. It does the job. To the left of me, I have my cargo lamp, a dead switch, and my power mirror adjusters down to the bottom left. And then on the door itself, I have my power locks and power windows, which are nice up and high. You know, in a pickup truck, sometimes the window switches are down by my shin, it feels like. These are actually nice and high up. They're very, very comfortable, very ergonomic, and I like that a lot for sure. Moving into the center, we have a pretty typical Nissan radio. Nothing really too crazy here. I think the Versa I rented down in Dallas a couple months ago, I think that had the same exact radio. I do have CD and menu, but I don't have any aux or USB inputs, unfortunately. Then down below that, I do have my climate control options. Again, very basic. I have my fan control and my temperature, things like that, nothing really too insane. And then down on the very bottom of the center console, I do have my 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive options. I like this. It's a very tactile knob. Feels good, feels solid, doesn't feel cheap, and it's very satisfying when you do put it into 4-wheel drive. Then I have my VDC off and my downhill descent control. So this is basically like cruise control for going downhill, so your truck doesn't run away from you if you're off-road. And going down a big hill, you're focusing on staying out of ruts and staying away from trees. your truck won't run away from you. It won't just start accelerating down the hill. I like that a lot. And that's a feature that most modern trucks have, but 10 years ago, I can't say that was super popular. Then we have the shifter. Shifter's pretty typical Nissan, nothing really too crazy here. It does have the nice satisfying button on the side. Click it to put it into gear. I like that a lot. Gives me confidence that I'm in gear. Then I have two cup holders, a little coin holder, things like that. And then we have the seats. The seats are decently comfortable. They have held up really well for 150,000 miles. I like it a lot. They're not the most comfortable things in the world, but this is a truck. This is a tool. This is a utility vehicle. So they don't have to be the most comfortable things in the world. This isn't a Rolls Royce. But speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so we'll do a back seat review as well as a trunk/truck bed review. All right, so I'm in the back of the 2010 Nissan Frontier, and honestly, the seats are very hard back here, not very comfortable. However, this is a small truck with 4 seats, actually 5 seats. I have a 5th seat belt if you really want to punish someone and make them sit middle back here. When I was a kid, we had a different name for the middle seat, but this is a family-friendly show. Overall, you know, like I said, this isn't the best back seat in the world. Would I want to sit back here on my way to the tail of the dragon for 9 hours? No, absolutely not. However, going to a job site or, you know, if you're building a weekend project and you and your friends want to all hop in and go to Home Depot together, yeah, this works perfectly. This is fine. This is great. It has back seats, and that's the biggest thing, is that it has the back seats. I drove a single cab pickup truck for many, many years, and the amount of times that I wish I had a back seat were immeasurable. This at least has them. You have the opportunity to carry more people if you have to, which just adds on to the fact that this truck is ready for anything, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But let's talk about the bed for now. So we're on back of the Frontier. Big handle. I mean, this thing is honking huge. Sorry, I'll get in the light. This is honking huge. A lockable tailgate from the factory, which is nice. No power tailgate, obviously. Just your good old stringy boys. But I do have these nice rails in the floor, so you can slide some stuff on. I mean, these are for different covers and things like that, blah, blah, blah. It's a decent-sized bed. I don't really get any amenities back here. No outlet like you'd find in the Tacoma. But here it is. This is your bed, and I'll put how long it is up on the screen. Now we gotta talk about the looks. I think this truck looks all right. I don't think it's going to win any design contests. I don't think, my jaw is not on the ground over this truck. However, I think it looks respectable, definitely looks Japanese, and overall I can't complain about it. So let's get back to the fact of, is the Frontier a good truck? Well, let's talk about the cons before we talk about the pros. First of all, this interior leaves a lot to be desired. This is a very bland, very white bread and butter sort of interior. It all works, and honestly, for 150,000 miles, pretty much everything in here is held up pretty well. The radio shows a little bit of wear on the 4 and 5 button. However, looking around, I don't see really too many other big signs of wear and tear, which is nice. That's a very good thing. The other cons is I'm not completely sold on the looks of this truck. I don't think it's a stellar looking truck. I don't think it's a wower. And this isn't the fault of the 2010 Frontier, but if you look at a 2020 Nissan Frontier, it looks the same. They haven't really changed this truck in the last 10 years. Nissan hasn't really changed much of their fleet in the last 10 years. And so that's kind of a knock on modern Frontiers, because why would I buy something brand new at a brand new price when I can get something that looks the exact same, drives the exact same for way cheaper? Something to think about. But let's talk about the pros. This truck can haul over 6,000 pounds. For a gasoline, smaller, lighter duty truck, that's good in my opinion. That's really good in my opinion, because I always think about, okay, my Mazda RX-7 is about 2,300 pounds. Even with a trailer, let's say a trailer weighs as much as a car, which I, doubt. Let's just say the trailer weighs the same amount as my RX-7. That's 4,600 pounds. That's still very comfortably within the realm of the Frontier's capabilities. The other thing is that these things are reliable. They're pretty basic. They're pretty small. Like I said, they've been making them for the last 10 years, so parts are very easy to find. The 4-liter V6, it's not a crazy engine. You're not, throwing any high compression weird gizmos at it. It's fine. It's durable. It works. And so this truck is owned by my good friend Nick. Thank you, Nick, for letting me drive your truck. he has two other cars that are much more exciting, in which hopefully I'll get to show you guys at some point in the future. But this is Nick's daily. This is Nick's get around truck. If he has to get a bunch of mulch, he can throw it in this truck. He doesn't have to use his Dodge Ram, which is his pride and joy, his baby. He can just chuck it back here. He has to get mulch. He just bought a new house, so he's getting all new furniture. He's not going to scuff up his favorite truck. He just has this truck. This truck is meant to be used and abused, and this is absolutely perfect for him. If he dings up the bed, who cares? If Nick wants to haul, I don't know, a big lazy boy recliner and a bunch of mirrors to put on his wall so he could stare at himself while he sits there and does business, he can do that with this truck. And it's not going to matter because it's cheap, it's easy, it's affordable, it's bland. You know, I said this truck has a white bread and butter interior, but that's exactly what this truck is, because bread and butter has gotten people through the dark ages. Bread and butter are the two main ingredients for most of my favorite things in the world. A sub sandwich, you need bread. Pasta, you need butter. And so while it's not exciting, I'm not getting torqued up when I have the opportunity to drive a Frontier. It's almost a necessity to have a vehicle like this, at least here in America. This truck can really do it all. Is it flashy? No. Is it sweet? No. But at the end of the day, it's going to work. It's going to get you and your things wherever they need to go, and it won't give you too much fuss. And as I get older, I really start to value a vehicle like that. I like this little Frontier. It ain't so bad. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Nick for letting me take out his Nissan Frontier. Love that name. It's sort of a moving westward name. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.